Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope that you saw last week's video, our lower body weaknesses. Today we're going to be covering our upper body weaknesses. Hope you enjoy it. All right guys, our first weakness is the chest extension, and one of the big issues with players is it comes from that back leg collapse. So like we talked about that back leg collapse last week, and that leads into our hip not going as far. So then our chest usually stays up if my back leg's collapsed, and I have this. It's probably anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees off of the hip. So if I take a measurement off this hip, it'll be about 20 degrees, and we want to be about 50. So this needs to be straight. We need to fix that back leg. And then two, we need to get that chest outward over that front leg. And so that front leg was the issue. We talked about that last week as well. And that's going to help me push further and further out. So a lot of our arm care and a lot of our drills are already incorporating all of this stuff. So this is just one instance. This is a up trampoline. So we're going to start in a straight back leg. Hip's going to be forward, chest is going to be forward. So I'm in that. You can see the connection between my leg and my torso and my arm. And it's called a triple extension because you have your leg, your torso, and your arm all in one. So we're going to come back and I'm going to practice this. Coming back, driving my chest forward while I'm coming back. Because I have a lot of kids that when we do this, they'll start arching their back backwards, and this is the exact same place that they throw from. So if you can get further out, you're gonna throw a lot better, it's gonna be more comfortable, and your arm's gonna feel a lot better. Cool. All right guys, we're going to be talking about acromial line, crossing the acromial line. Acromial line is just the line between our shoulder blades, okay? So our shoulders are here. There's a lot of players that cross a ton. Bumgardner would be one of them. I would not teach Bumgardner's mechanics to anybody because it's really difficult. He's a big guy and he's so big that he can compensate for that. So we've built drills to fix this already. So I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too little. I want to be right in the middle in here. So this is called a Marshall. We're going to start with our opposite foot forward. I'm left-handed, so my left foot forward. If you're right-handed, you're going to start with your right foot forward, okay? And we're going to practice. I can't go beyond this acromial line. I'm not crossing it because I can't. And so this is a great way to practice getting in that scap load and being able to drive through that ball. This also incorporates that chest extension we just talked about. That good chest extension. This leg is going to tighten up, it's not going to bend. So there's going to be a huge benefit working through our reprogramming. We do have a PDF that's complete reprogramming. That's going to help fix any kind of difficulty crossing that acromial line in just a few weeks. Really, really simple. All right guys, we're going to talk about front glove, firm front glove, and this is a thing that most players, really struggle with because we only talk about that throwing side, and it's actually the front side that helps us turn. This is our brake, and it helps us turn the back side. So this is a really, really easy thing to implement, and so a lot of times you'll have gloves go down, or you have conflicting things where I'm saying pulling. But ultimately the shoulder blade's got to be the one that pinches. So we're going to practice this. This is something that you can add in all of our drills. You can add a 2-pound ball or 1-pound ball into our front glove, and that'll give you the ability to feel the weight and drive that chest through. Feel that weight and drive that chest through. So it should look like this. I'm loading up, front glove's going to pinch, and I'm driving through that front side. This is going to work on that chest extension as well. This is going to work on that acromial line. So all of this stuff is kind of intertwined and intermingled to be able to help all of this holistically. It's not just one specific thing. They're all kind of run together, and it's a reoccurring theme to try to fix your issues. So. Hey guys, we're gonna cover the arm flyout, and this happens a lot where our bodies go away from our arm, and we've got to, number one, we've got to travel the same way that we want to go, what we want to put our arm. So if my chest doesn't, if it goes away from my arm, that's where this hand goes outside that elbow. So that's the weakness. So we got into a Marshall earlier. Marshalls are gonna help with that. 45-degree knees from your knees are gonna work with that. Box drill 1 is gonna work with that, where you're driving through that ball and just speeding up the arm action's gotta be a little bit quicker. I think a lot of kids are told to go slow, and that really makes things a little bit difficult. All right guys, we're gonna cover now what we call high elbow. And so as we throw a ball, we'll have either the elbow will come up and elevate, creating a lot of tension on that shoulder and elbow. And then we'll also have sometimes where kids will have a low elbow to make room for their arm. And we want to stay somewhere in the middle, okay? So if I take a measurement off both shoulders out to the elbow, it should equal about 180. 5 degrees here and there, not a big deal. But we want to keep it together through that ball as I rotate. So the big portion of this happens back in the shoulder blade. How well you can load and keep that elbow at that shoulder level so that when you pinch, it stays together all the way right into about there. So that's where I start transitioning into that rotation, that internal rotation, that pronation into that arm. So anything you can do to strengthen those shoulders to keep your shoulder blade back, that's gonna help your ability to keep your elbow at that shoulder level. All right guys, we're gonna cover launch, and launch is important. There's a lot of guys that release that ball right over that front foot, sometimes if not behind the front foot. Part of it has to do with your front knee, part of it has to do with your chest extension, which we've covered already. So we wanna straighten this front leg out. I wanna drive that chest, and my release point should be beyond that front foot. It should be out here, somewhere out here. Some people throw from all different angles, but ultimately it needs to be out in front, past your front foot. That's gonna put a lot less stress on the shoulder and elbow. Anything back here usually puts a ton of pressure on the shoulder, anterior shoulder, and elbow, medial elbow. So thanks for tuning in. All right, last thing that we're gonna talk about when it comes to our upper body weaknesses is the ability to stack and keeping that acromial line not crossed, but not crossing it while I'm staying back. So I think about this with my head. I'm trying to keep my head on this back foot as long as I can until my front foot hits. Then I have some momentum to throw my body forward. First time I hit 90 miles an hour, I think I was 150 pounds, maybe less. And a lot of it had to do with my ability to stack and stay back while keeping my hips inside. So I think a lot of times kids fall forward this way and they think that they're gaining power when they're actually not gaining any power, they're actually losing power. It needs to be more back towards this back foot. The head is on the back side. And this is that stack we're talking about. I'm stacking my upper body on top of my lower body as I go down the mount. Thanks for tuning in to our upper body weaknesses. I hope you really enjoyed our course. This is the end of our course. All of this needs to be done in unison, both between the arm care with the bands, the weighted balls, all of the upper body weaknesses, lower body weaknesses, and of course our corrections and our fixes that we've provided for you. Really hope you enjoyed it. There's going to be more. We're going to be shooting some more film on the ins and outs of how to adjust and how to perform differently in the future. So I'll see you soon.